Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update for everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. Today is November 14th, I'm Whack Attack, and we have a jam-packed episode for you today. So, I have so many links open that my browser window is being a little bit slow, so it might take a few seconds to load some of the windows, but anyway, let's get started. So, the first thing is there are a couple of celebrations today, milestones hit. So over the weekend, we hit 1,700 node operators, which I think makes Rocket Pool like the most decentralized staking network outside of Ethereum and Bitcoin. So there are more Rocket Pool node operators than any other alt layer 1 out there, I think. So that's a truly remarkable achievement. It's fantastic that we've got this many node operators over the course of a year. We're approaching 10,000 mini pools, which is really cool too. We're a little bit away from that, but what we do have is at this point, Luke was saying we have 299,968 ETH staked. So went 300,000. And then Jasper tweeted this out saying, congratulations to Rocket Pool for passing 300,000 staked ETH on the Beacon chain. This comes just days after the 1 year anniversary of the mainnet launch, when 3 million hint LEBs and SAS and withdrawals. New paper out soon. So then you can have a look at the tweet from Jasper. And then he's got information of the staking. So currently there's 299,136,000 ETH actively staked, and 1,728 ETH that's pending to be into mini pools. So all that together means that there's more than 300,000 ETH staked with Rocket Pool now, which means we'll be coming up to 10,000 validators very soon, which is absolutely amazing. So yeah, it's really cool to see that. When you include the RPL that's locked in there too, then that takes us up to 414,408 ETH worth of TVL, which is really awesome. So yeah, thanks for sharing that, Jasper, and thanks for everyone who stakes with Rocket Pool, whether you're a rETH holder or whether you're So next we have this post from Thomas where he says, "Goddamn, I got 48 ETH block this morning." So that's for MEV boost and tips in that block. So Thomas has gotten some really nice blocks recently, which is really wonderful for Thomas, and we're really happy for him. But I think a few people were just like, why isn't the smoothing pool getting anything like that? So what happened over the course of the weekend was some real magic for the smoothing pool, and a really nice number of blocks coming through. So wait, sorry, my browser is being a bit slow. Yeah, okay, here it goes. So we got this block that had 31 ETH in there, and it's not opening the picture for some reason. There it goes. Okay, 31.16 ETH. And then again over the weekend we had another one that was 47 ETH block in the smoothing pool, which was really amazing. And then later on after that we had another block that was 20 ETH in the smoothing pool. And because of all those blocks coming through the smoothing pool, there was another one as well, 13.6 ETH and 13.67 ETH, which is really, really nice. So all of those together did a great job of pushing up the smoothing pool rewards for this period. So much so that the smoothing pool already has more ETH in it than it did all of the last cycle, the 4-week cycle before that. So right now we are 18 days in and we have 260.45 ETH in the smoothing pool after 19 days pretty much, if you look right here. So that means that we've still got another 9 days to go and we're already 50 ETH ahead of where we were last month for the whole 4 weeks. So that's been absolutely amazing. And then if you have a look at this chart here, you can see that the APR was kind of 5%, 5%, 5%, and then the big spike over here around November 3rd that was because of a recalculation of old APRs, and then the numbers went back to 5%, 5%, 5%, and then from November 8th onwards, the rewards have been absolutely phenomenal, and that's all because of the massive amounts of on-chain activity that's happening because of the FTX stuff. So there's been a lot of blocks with big amounts of MEV, with big amounts of tips that are getting through. So that's really cool to see. And then Joe shared a little bit of information about what he wants the smoothing pool to look like in the next cycle. Not the next cycle, sorry, but moving forwards. He says the next major smoothing pool upgrade, I'll suggest setting it so when you join, you don't get the rewards from before you joined, and when you leave, you don't get the rewards from when you leave. So right now what happens is if you are in the smoothing pool, you get the rewards for that period depending on when you join and when you leave. So I think Joe just wants to make it a lot more clearer that you're only eligible for the rewards for the periods that you're actually in the smoothing pool, which I think makes a lot of sense. So moving on, we had this cool post from Loopring where it says Loopring Earn is expanding. Staking ETH with Rocket Pool is now live on Loopring. Another way to earn daily ETH rewards, completely gas free. So then there's a tab there saying via Rocket Pool, stake ETH, get rETH, and estimated EPR is 8.54%. So I think this kind of integration is going to be happening more and more in the next months and years, especially since we got the full green ticks on the Ethereum website, which was really great to see. So I think it adds legitimacy for rETH that just doesn't exist for any of the other projects out there. And because of that, we'll just get more and more of these integrations where apps and services and dexes and stuff will have direct links to minting rETH in their platform. I also saw an integration with Gnosis Safe. 1inch we've talked about here before. There's a lot of these things that are doing the stake with rETH thing built into their services. So that was really great to see. Next, we had this post from Valdorf. He says, folks, if you're considering a mini pool, this deal's amazing. You can ARB to gain 16 protocol ETH times 2.36% premium equals 0.37 ETH. So now what does this mean? Basically, this is referring to Ramana's Rocket ARB opportunity, which they're talking about right here. It says, I'm intending to ARB it today. So what does that mean? Basically, when the deposit pool is full, then rETH starts trading at premium on the market. When it's a premium on the market, Ramana made a contract that lets you bundle transactions together. So you start a mini pool, which creates 16 ETH of space in the deposit pool, and then you automatically mint 16 ETH of rETH using the ETH in the deposit pool, and then you go and sell it on the secondary market and then pocket the difference. So over here, if it happened in the pure way, then you could get 0.37 ETH for that. So that's basically a discount for starting your mini pool, and that's more than enough to pay for gas if the premium is 2.36%. So let's have a look at how that worked over the course of the weekend. Ramana then later came on trading and said, success, 0.29 ETH profit from my mini pool deposit. So Ramana started a mini pool and got a really nice a reward, I guess, in the sense of arbing that the premium on the rETH, which was really cool to see. And then Jasper made a tweet about it. He said, demand for rETH has created a 2% premium, but how can you take advantage? I'm going to break down how you can use the rETH premium to immediately earn around 0.3 ETH, take MEV back from the bots, and help Rocket Pool, Rocket ARB by Ramana.eth. So then that's the whole tweet thread right here, where Jasper then shares the information about why it is Rocket Pool's rETH at premium, what's happening with other tokens like STETH, and then how mini pool goes through and what happens and all that information. So it's worth giving it a read if you want to understand some of how it works, but I can try to explain it as I'm going along. So then basically means that you get paid to start a mini pool, which is really cool. So then what happened then is Danilo Stefan shared this link. He says that it's already been used 12 times as of yesterday, which was really cool. And then it's been like, I think maybe used even more than that now. And then Yeehaw says, hey, I just want to let you know that I had some issues with some things not working. Kept having out. I didn't want to mess with the gas fees, so I just ran with the flash loans. It worked great. Thanks so much for sharing this. I think I netted 0.2 ETH per mini pool. Nice to get paid to make mini pools. Thanks to Jasper Friendly Ghost for promoting it, which was really cool to see that people are actually taking advantage of this already, and it's actually working really well. And then the best thing of all is Joe tagged Ramana, said, I talked to the team about Rocket Arb. They said they'd be okay including it as a smart node add-on that had a separate command from node deposit, so people could do a vanilla one if they wanted to, or had an explicit flag or something. How do you feel about implementing it in Go for direct integration, making a Docker container that runs your JS stuff for indirect integration? So then, like, that's a really cool thing, that the team wants to start integrating it into the smart node contract to begin with, and then seeing how that might or might not work. So if you want to give it a read, here's Ramana's GitHub, where he has the README file that Jasper was mentioning on Twitter, and all the information that you need, including how you do it and how you don't do it. Like, all the information is there. So if you want to do it and if you have any questions, then come into trading and ask some questions, and people will be happy to help you. I think there are a few people who know how to run that now. So, okay, the next part of this video, we're going to be talking about the FTX drama, because trading and the Discord channel were completely enthralled by it all weekend. So Friday night, Zero-X Bluth shared this link. It says, bankruptcy, liquidity taking control of FTX assets, ? And it seemed basically like there was some other exit scam or bankruptcy wallet or something. There were certain movements happening from the FTX wallets that people couldn't understand why they were happening. And Jasper was saying, it wouldn't work that fast if it was liquidator. And also they're swapping their USDT to DAI. And people started thinking, this might be some kind of hack, or Jasper's like, they re-enable withdrawals. Nope. And he says, I'm hedging. And he says, either bankruptcy, holding wallet, or we're about to go Giga Nuke. And Maverick was like, there's 44 million of ST-ETH in there. And they're unloading their positions. So there was some stuff happening, weird stuff, and there's mass liquidations into stable coins. So what was going on? It seems as though and then we started getting warnings about your FTX app and the website. It's people started saying, don't delete the website, stop interacting with the app, and don't open any of those things because there's viruses or some kind of Trojans in there. So it looked like there was something really weird going on, right? And then a former Autism Capital is a Twitter account that shares crypto stuff, and they said a former high-level FTX. That's not loading. Let me just. Sorry. Basically, the former high-level FTX person was saying that this doesn't look like it's something that we're planning and something that they were actually planning on doing. So it looks like it's a hack or some kind of breach. Let me see. Yeah, it says there's no way to have this much root access so quickly. There are too many different wallets and products to pull this off at once. And he says it has to be an inside job. So that was quite interesting idea put forward. And then Meek says here, the wallet's incoming transaction looks like straight withdrawals from people's wallets. Those amounts are small. And then people wondering what's going on. And like, is the FTX doing something themselves? Is this some kind of hack? Is it some kind of internal stuff going on? Insider hack? And Maverick said it's GTA Bahamas, and people are emptying FTX's accounts. And then what we got after that was, it seems like what happened is all the treasuries were getting, all the cold storage, I guess, or hot storage, whatever it was getting drained, and then it was going to two different addresses. And Jasper said, not gonna lie, it looks like the hacker and the white hat are fighting it out over funds right now. So that was like a really great insight, because it seems like other people started agreeing with Jasper a little while later. And he's saying midway summary, hacker one, clear black hat was taking funds like Matic and Link and STETH and a bunch of others, and was selling them either back into ETH or selling them into USDC. Sorry, DAI, not USDC or USDT. And then there's hacker 2, who's possibly a white hat, who's taking the coins and tokens out of the FTX accounts and putting them into a multi-sig. So it seems like they were like putting them into a safer place, which was what Jasper was thinking earlier. And Patch was saying, oh yeah, so with all that stuff that was happening, there was a lot of drama, right? And then Patches had this thought about what was going on, and he says, I don't think there's a route to heroism for FTX at this point, even if they Robin Hooded it. Oh, sorry, not FTX, for the hackers at this point, even if they're Robin Hooded it. They're stealing from people who are owed debt by FTX, not by Sam himself, SBF himself. And then next we had this post. I'm sorry, my browser's being really bad today. I'm fine, thank you. Come on. There's just too many tabs. I really shouldn't be doing this, but yeah. It's my own fault. I have too many windows open. Okay, now I think... Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so then people started tracking flights that were going out of the Bahamas and going elsewhere around the world. One of them flew to Argentina, that people thought maybe Sam was doing a runner and he was going on there. And then next was like FTX admin apparent hack. Not all hope is lost. Engineers have managed to retrieve substantial amount of funds. So there was some that was saved and some of it was lost. And then the Maverick said, let's start chit chat. So let's do chit chat hours. So then people started talking about it and sharing information and chit chat on Discord. And then Dibsby shared this later about how it seems like Sam Bankman-Fried had backdoors built into his bookkeeping systems, which was linked with software, and then that was letting them move finances around without triggering any kind of alerts or security measures or any kind of auditing stuff. So it's like they were doing this for a while, you know, like they were really, they built these systems into the whole foundation of their operation, and it's really bad. So one of the things that was happening was there were withdrawals that started taking place, and it seemed like those withdrawals were going to people from the Bahamas, and FTX released a statement saying, let me see, sorry, yeah, here, sorry, the thread is a bit out of order. Let me just go here. So FTX released a statement saying that our Bahamian headquarters regulations and regulators, we have to facilitate withdrawals for people from the Bahamas. However, it seemed like some of the things happening were people from elsewhere in the world were buying accounts linked in the Bahamas and then withdrawing stuff through those accounts and paying like vast amounts of money for that. So much so that the SEC of the Securities Commission for the Bahamas released a statement saying that they didn't tell FTX that they had to do this. So there was a lot of lying going on, and CoffeeZilla, who released this tweet, said this has to be one of the most insane parts of the saga. FTX faking an order from the Bahama regulators to sneakily withdraw funds while everything was paused, only to have the Bahama regulators say that FTX was lying. So that was really, really bad. That's the full statement from the regulator. And then there's this thing from BlockFi employee that came out. He said the only reason FTX bailed us out in June after the Luna collapse was to get our user funds onto their platform to use in their shell game. They applied immense pressure to get BlockFi funds migrated to FTX custody. Employees were told by executive not to ask questions about the move. So basically they bailed out BlockFi, but they said BlockFi had to move all their crypto to FTX custody, and then when it was in FTX custody, they started using it for their own games, basically. And then more discoveries were made about how they kind of lied about the companies that they had and what they were doing. So this person, Nick Bax, said, take a look at North Dimensions Inc. I found 2 North Dimensions Inc. websites. One looks like what you'd expect, just a financial service company. The other is an electronics retailer that doesn't actually sell stuff and shares an address with FTX US. So they were like setting up these shell companies and corporations that they were using to like move money around. And it says this may explain their early Japan arb trade. They would have needed some business front to justify the large daily payments from Japan to the US. And yeah, like they were like this was been going on for years, where they've been like skirting the rules of the system and breaking rules of the system, including banking fraud. And then Autism Capital here had this picture of Sam at a desk, and he said that Sam basically was taking stimulants while working, and one of them was this drug for Alzheimer's, which you can see right here in the bottom right of the screen next to the pill bottle. And then there's a zoom in on it, another zoom, and it's MSAM, which is a drug for Parkinson's that has off-label use for alertness and focus benefits. And it also says that it can be fatal if eaten with meat. And then Disby says that even SBF's veganism was a fucking front. Like, it was just all an act, basically, just so he could take these drugs. Like, he wasn't really a vegan. We saw that he wasn't really like living on bean bags and driving a Corolla. He was living in a $50 million mansion in the Bahamas. So yeah. And then the story came in today, and I don't know how true this is or isn't, because I haven't seen any more information about it, but it says SPF released by the Nassau local police should be on his way to the UAE. So it seems like that's the favorite destination for a bunch of people who are like running from the law, because there's no extradition treaty from the UAE, and also there's like a relatively comfortable lifestyle if you have money out there. So yeah, I guess that's what's happening next. So that's where the drama stands right now. It's pretty much been all that trading has been talking about all weekend. So yeah, it's still going, and every day there's something new happening. So yeah. So this is one of my things that I saw. So this bot that I've got on screen here shows a trade where someone sold about 10 ETH of RPL, and the ratio hit 0.01168. The reason why I'm showing this is because I think that this either is, or we are very close to the bottom of the market cycle. Of course, this is not financial advice. This is just my own speculation. But I feel like either we've hit the bottom now because of all this SBF and FTX stuff, or there'll be some contagion outbreaks in the next like few days or weeks, and then that will be the bottom of this market cycle. Not saying that we're going to go to a new bull run right away. We might be crabbing for a year, maybe even 2 years. But I think that we've seen the bottoms for ETH at $880, and I think we've seen the bottom for RPL at $7.50. So I think this might be like the local bottom of where we are right now. Of course, there's always ways for it to go further down, but that's just my thought at the moment. So I want to end this video with a couple of things that like really were heartwarming for me. The first was this comment from Phiz, who linked to a tweet of his. He says, "Not easy to squeeze in more media into my exercise routine, but I started making space for the daily Rocket Fuel podcast by Whack Attack, focusing on the Rocket Fuel community, and I'm loving it. 10 out of 10, great content." So that was a tweet of his. And then let me just click on that so we can open it, which I should have done before. Yeah, it's opened 3 times. Of course it has. So then Phiz wrote this really like sweet tweet, and it was really kind of him to like say those kind of words. And then Jasper on the tweet said, "The best content in crypto in my opinion." And people just like really like said a lot of nice things about that tweet. So I said to Phiz on Discord, I said, let me see. I said, "I love you, Phiz." And Phiz said, "The feeling's mutual. I deeply appreciate your willingness to encourage people to give back to the community. We must be willing to give more than we take," which I think is really something that's like kind of been guiding me for these last few months since I've been making Rocket Fuel, is that I want to give more than I take from the community. Also, one of the things is like this idea that I had last week of, people giving back time to Rocket Pool or Ethereum as a whole if they wanted, but to Rocket Pool specifically if they're members of this community, to start spending an hour. So I think that vein, that idea, that way of thinking, like kind of really struck a chord with Phiz, and it resonated with him, right? So that's really great. And next we had a shout out from Anthony Sassal on the Daily Gwei. I didn't know about it until I was told about it in the Rocket Fuel thread this morning from Slovenchek. I'm sorry, I'm not pronouncing your name right, I'm sure. .eth. It says, "Nice Rocket Fuel shout out on the Daily Gwei," and then there's a timestamp, and I can't show the video because my sound won't work for that. But it was absolutely lovely of Sassano to spend a segment of his video talking about Rocket Fuel and giving an update of like telling people about the kind of content I produce and everything. And it was just really kind of him to do that. And the reason why I wanted to finish with these two like kind of shout outs was both of these people are people who I respect a tremendous amount. Phiz, I've had a fair amount of contact with and talked to a bunch of times, but Anthony Sassano I've not really talked to all that much. But the fact that he knew what I'm doing, and both of them were like being really encouraging about it and saying really kind things about it and really getting the word out about it was really, really like heartwarming for me. It was really sweet of them to do that and really kind of them to do that. So it feels nice to know that people are seeing the hard work you're doing, and I really appreciate that they made that effort of like telling people like that this is something valuable for the community, and it will add value for them as well. So it was really sweet. It was really like it was really nice to see those. So thank you to both of them, and thank you for everyone watching. I'm going to end the video here, and yeah, I hope you all have had a great start to the week, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.